Welcome back to another episode of Whitney's World podcast. I'm your host, Whitney Morgan Ward, and I am so thankful that you've tuned in wherever you're at on this planet. Thank you so much. You guys have no idea what a journey I have been on, and this podcast has been such a pivotal part to my life, to my soul's path, to my soul purpose, and I'm so thankful for you guys for tuning in week after week. Everyone that sends me messages that my podcast is helping you in some kind of way, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You guys have no idea how much it means to me, because not only am I doing this for me, but I am doing this to hopefully help anyone, to just share my journey and to really open my heart, open my throat chakra, to open my mind and my soul and my spirit. The thing that people don't realize about podcasting, unless you're a podcaster, is there is this notion that goes on social media, and I've even talked about it, but to be authentic, to be authentically you, to be authentic in who you are and what you have to bring to the table. And I think we've kind of gotten the authenticity thing a little bit wrong, and even I've gotten it wrong. But I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and she was saying that authenticity is not really achievable until you've really grown. And that really hit me because it's very true. Like, authenticity comes by you growing and your growth journey. A lot of times authenticity doesn't happen until you've really grown and learned and been on the journey. And I've been on this journey of real deep growth, healing, I would say this year. I started my podcast last year, but really things didn't click for me until this year, when I really fell in love with this journey, until I really fell in love with personal development, spirituality, growth, just watching myself grow, watching myself be brave, growing confidence within myself, and really cultivating this sense of peace and love with who I am. So I really want to share what I've gone through over the weekend. And if you guys follow me on social media, you know that I went to a Red Rock show in Denver. I went by myself. I was supposed to go with a friend, but because of the hurricane, she wasn't able to make it. And so I almost didn't go based off of going to a show alone. Like, I've never done that before. A lot of people have never done that. A lot of people have sent me DMs and were just like, wow, I can't believe you did that. That's so brave of you. And I can't explain to you guys how much going to a show solo changed me as a person. It made me feel so brave and confident, and it gave me this sense of I'm okay and I'm safe in my body. And I think too, the fact that I quit drinking, I really can't stress how much that has changed me from the inside out and just given me mental clarity. But not drinking has really forced me, is a good way to say it, to look at myself. It's really forced me to get comfortable with me and to truly know myself, because basically my whole life I've shared with you guys that I've struggled with drugs and alcohol abuse, like many of us have. And now that I am breaking free of all of that, it's so powerful. And I feel so powerful. And I really think that that's what they don't want us to know. When you start to go down this journey and you start to embody your power and you start to learn how powerful you truly are, and everything's in the mind, which is a battle in itself to try to reprogram your mind, but it is so important. And I do believe that is the true resurrection, when you can change your mind and you can reprogram yourself and you can learn like spirituality and techniques on how to manifest your life that you want, meditation, quieting yourself, just really being at a place in your life where You are good with you. You are okay with you. You can move through the world being who you are meant to be. And that is truly mastery. That is truly what I believe that they don't want us to know. Because again, when you start to become comfortable in your own body, when you start to learn who you truly are, all the chains that you have, maybe you're conscious of or unconscious of, you start to realize that you can break those chains off of you. You really come to a place within yourself that you really realize like nothing's impossible. Nothing. And the more that you can be safe in your body and love yourself on a deep level, that's when all the doors open up. That's when life really gets good. That's when life gets juicy. And I will say, and I want to like say this is kind of like season 2, by the way. I'm ready to really, really force myself to, I don't know what, force myself. Yeah, I'm forcing myself to open up more because this is truly the path that I want to take in my life. This is what I feel so lit up about and so called to is podcasting, helping, healing the feminine energy, helping people heal the things that have gone on in our lives. Like, this is what I'm passionate about. This is what excites me. And I'm like so dedicated to breaking the glass ceiling and getting through this. And I know you guys know that because you've been along the journey with me. But anyway, kind of going back to what I was saying is they don't want us to know who we are, because when we start to awaken and our soul starts to awaken, things get really interesting. And this is exactly what happened to me. And if you guys have been following me, I want you guys to know that life has not been easy. Ever since I moved, I feel like I have been squeezed to the absolute limits. Like everything that I was, I'm not anymore. Everything that I was passionate about, I'm not anymore. And it is this really uncomfortable, weird place to be. But I know that it is why my soul came here. I know that now I am on the right path, that I really am on a soul's journey, and I am really trusting myself, trusting my intuition, and taking massive leaps. And that's something I realized, like reflecting over this past weekend. I have been reflecting a lot on my life, and because I feel like this is another time in my life where I'm being forced to jump. I'm being forced to test the limits. And it gets really sketchy and it gets really scary and it's very uncomfortable. Like, I want you guys to know that right now in my life, I'm really uncomfortable, like with what I feel like my higher self is asking me to do, with where I feel like my soul wants me to go. I don't know. I just feel like I'm in a really uncomfortable place, but I also have this like peace and this like knowing that I am on the right path and that everything I'm doing is what I'm meant to do. And so, again, the whole reason that I started this podcast was because I felt called to, and now it's like leading me down this path that is just so incredible. And I'm like so excited, but like living in the unknown is definitely not for the faint of heart. And I understand why so many people don't break the chains off of their life, and so many people stay trapped, because when you do get called by your soul, or you have a spiritual awakening, or you just decide that you're sick and tired of your life and you don't know what else to do and you've hit rock bottom and somehow you found my podcast and now you're going down your own soul's journey, there's something very special about it. And there's something very powerful about this. And if you start to go down this path, there's so many people out there that have been down this path and are now teaching or have written books or are YouTubers or whatever the case is. And it's like everyone talks about this crumbling in your life that happens. Like, it's like your life is just crumbling. It's like everything in your 3D reality seems to be slipping through your fingers and you don't know what to do, but you have this like deep inner peace and this deep inner knowing that like everything's going to work out and everything's going to be okay. And that's where I'm at. Like, I am 100% there right now where I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how it's all going to happen. I just feel called to share my story with you guys. And I know a lot of people start to share their story after they've had their big break. And that is not the case for me. And that is just because this is what my soul chose. This is what my soul wanted to do. And so, you know, you have to get out of your way. You have to move out of your own way and allow your soul to move you through the world. So if you are on a spiritual journey, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you aren't, maybe this is your initiation. Maybe you just like me and you're listening to me and you think I'm fucking crazy. Anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just so thankful that you're here because this is the way that we change the world. This is how we change our lives, is by listening to each other, is by trusting ourselves and realizing that if you want something new, you have to move. And my very first episode was, you're not a tree, move, basically. Like, if you don't like where you're at, move, because you're not a tree. And I just want so badly for people to break free and get unstuck. And when I went to this show at Red Rocks to see Alison Wonderland, she is literally the queen. Her production is so incredible. I actually I have to plan a trip to take women next year to go to see her. Like, she is literally the epitome of what a spiritual awakening is. And she just explains the spiritual process so well through her music and all her visuals. And it is just amazing. And I literally feel like watching her and like dancing with her and like headbanging, like chains were broken off of me. And it's crazy because everything tried to stop me from getting there. And I just believed. I'm like, I have to go to this. Like, ever since I left her show last year, I was like, I will not miss her show next year. And I remember feeling that. But then the hurricane hit. My flight got canceled. I had to get a new flight. The girl I was going with wasn't able to go anymore. The airport was closed, like I thought. And I'm calling the airport. It was just like all of this chaos. And I just stuck to my gut. I stuck to my intuition and I stuck to my heart, like knowing inside of me that I had to be there. I had to go to her show. Like, there's something about us as humanity helping each other and navigate through what's going on, because there is a lot of darkness going on. There is a lot of uncertainty. There is a lot of negativity and dark forces at work right now, trying to lower our energy, to steal our energy, to keep us stuck and enslaved in this system. And it's not why we're here. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. It is not the other way around. And so as I got to watch her just basically explain her spiritual awakening through her show, it was like chains were broken off of me. And it was so powerful. And like, there's just something so incredible about music, especially when the person behind the music hasn't sold out. It's amazing. And until you see Alison Wonderland's show in real life, you'll never really be able to understand what I'm talking about. Even if you see her at EDC or you see her at a festival, it is different than her headlining her own show. She is absolutely incredible if you ever see her live. But seeing her whole production unfold of her journey through the darkness to become light is absolutely mind-blowing. And I cried during her show because that is what I've had to do. I have been treading through the darkness literally since I moved to Florida. And I understand how to become light, you have to go through the dark, because you have to shed your limiting beliefs. You have to really go deep inside of yourself. You have to figure out, like, why did you date the toxic men? Why did you do drugs for so long? Why have you been suppressing your soul and yourself with drinking alcohol? Why have you been doing all of these things for so long? Like, it is a journey to truly look within yourself, to heal the dark, dark parts of you. It is not pretty. It is painful. It is scary. It is wild, but it is so beautiful. And you really learn through this journey that you are an alchemist. Like, you are literally transmuting darkness and you are changing it to light. Like, that is so powerful. And that is what people and the dark forces don't want you to do, because as you start to go down this journey, it's like the universe, God, source, whatever your higher power is. And I know I've had people like question me on like, oh, like your higher power and God, and like that's different, and like all of that. To me, genuinely, it's the same thing. So however that resonates with you is how it resonates. I'm not here to tell you what you should or shouldn't believe. I am purely a messenger of my own journey and my own path. And that is all I'm responsible. I'm only responsible to speak my truth and to share it. And whoever it resonates with, great. Whoever it doesn't, that's great too. They have someone else that resonates with them, and that's beautiful. We're not all the same. We are not all cut from the same cloth. We all have been through different shit, different paths. I had an ex that broke into my house, destroyed everything. I left my entire business. I moved across the country with like no money to my name, just believing that God was going to take care of me, that the universe was going to protect me. And it has, like, source energy has literally been with me every step of the way. And I have not stopped. I have not backed down. I have not given in. I have continued to fight, and I have cried more and been in the darkest places in my life ever than I've been before on this journey. But it is how you transmute dark to light. And again, like, through this process, through the darkness, there is light, because we live in a universe that has polarity, meaning there's dark and light. So no matter what, however dark your times are, as long as you keep going and you don't give up, your light is going to come. Your morning is going to come. Your sunshine is going to shine. You just have to hold on. And sometimes people get it quicker. Sometimes people have it even harder than me. It just depends on where you're at in your journey. It depends on what your soul calling is. Like, for me, I feel like part of my path is to open myself up and to share as vulnerably as I can. And it's very challenging because I'm putting myself out there on the internet for anyone in the entire world to come at me and to project their fears onto me. But it doesn't matter because I just know that this is what I'm supposed to do. And I don't know. I just love it. I want to help people, and I want people to see like that this path is real. And so it's going to be super cool as things evolve for you guys to see where I started, the process, and where I'm going, where I'm headed, how things turn out, who's on my podcast one day, how my following grows, where I'm speaking one day, what other podcasts I'm on. Like, the world is truly your oyster if you open your heart, you open your soul, you open your mouth, and you start to speak your truth. And that's why there are so many people being censored. That is why the cancel culture is so great and deep, because they don't want us, the light, to speak the truth, because it cancels the dark out. The more people that speak up, that rise up, that awaken on their spiritual journey, and they start to realize, like, maybe everything that I was told isn't the truth. Maybe I am bound in shackles and I'm the one standing in my own way because I won't let go. And that is the true hero's journey. That is the true alchemist journey of literally transforming the dark into something light and being an example for people and pushing that out into the world. Because again, the more people that start to go down this path and believe in themselves, and you start to do the mindset work, and you start to realize that your mind is in control of everything. And if you want to change your life, you have to change your mind. Everything is mindset. Everything is mind. The Trinity, mind, body, soul. Mind, body, soul. That's your Trinity. It's about you. This journey is about you. This whole journey in life is about you. And we've been trained and we've been taught and we've been beaten down that we don't matter, that we don't have any power, that everything's outside of us, that we're slaves, that we are enslaved to the system, that we're stuck and we're trapped. But really, everything just comes down to your mind. So if you can transform your mind, if you can start to really dig deep into your limiting beliefs, your shadows, the trauma that you have endured in your life, and you start to let that stuff unfold and you start to really look into it, your life will change. You will learn how much power you truly have. But see, most people are so afraid. Most people are so bound by their shackles that they cannot let go. And that is why we have all these sicknesses. And that's why there's so many people with dis-ease, because they are not at ease. Your body is this beautiful machine that literally gives you signals constantly about what feels good, what doesn't feel good, where am I at, where do I need to change, what do I need to do? And if you are out of alignment with your soul purpose, you are going to be caused dis-ease in your body because you are not where you're meant to be. So something that I learned from my trip is that so much of my life I have been the good girl. I have been, and I'm sure many of you can relate to this, being the good girl, being the one that doesn't ruffle feathers, being the one that says the right thing. You don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to get canceled. You don't want to upset someone because of their beliefs. And believe me, I'm still working through this, but I'm getting more and more comfortable. I'm getting more and more like squeezed, like the pressure's on me because again, what I used to want, I don't want anymore. And so I am having to force myself into this true authenticity, into this true version of me. And it is scary and it is amazing and it is beautiful and it is all the feelings. It's like literally all the feelings. But I realized how much of a good girl I've been my whole life in my own mind. Now, again, not like I absolutely did a lot of bad things. And that's the thing. I think that's where I was like, why I was doing drugs, why I was drinking was because I was like needed to be this good girl, but like that's not why I came here. I didn't come here to fit in a box. I didn't come to earth to be this version of someone that is liked by everyone and has to act a certain way to fit in. I've actually never fit in. I've always felt like the outcast. And now I know why. Because I'm a Taurus, so I know some of you don't believe in astrology, but astrology is like a super powerful tool. For me, I think it's beautiful. I'm a Taurus, I'm a bull. I'm the one that is just, I got to make the way. I got to get through it. Like nothing, people can't tell me what to do. Like I got it. I know what I want. I know where I'm going, and I'm going to make my path on my own journey. And so last year I had an astrology reading, and I actually shared this like many, many episodes ago, but this is kind of coming in with my good girl, is that I feel like, well, something that he said to me was that my purpose on earth, my soul, is to feel genuine self-love and self-worth. And that is so crazy to me, because the more that I heal and the more that I just continue to go down my journey, I've learned that I've never loved myself. And that's why I drank so much. That's why I did drugs. That's why I dated guys that were not good to me, because I never felt worthy. I never felt genuine self-love. And so I was always suppressing who I was, because I always felt trapped. I always felt, and now I know why. It's because I was never actually living my soul purpose. And even in like real estate, I've been selling real estate since I was 22 years old. And you know, in real estate, you have to be polished, you have to be quiet, you have to behave, you can't post certain things on social media. Like, it's just this whole game. Like in real estate, you have to play this like good girl persona. And so that's another thing that I feel like has just really been holding me back, is I've not been able to open myself up and speak my truth, because I am a realtor, and, you know, I don't want people to not use me or judge me or any of that. And so I've kept myself a very like good girl. But the truth is like, no, like there's a lot of darkness you got to go through in this life. You got to understand how to navigate. You got to understand people and, you know, mindset. And there's so much to unravel. And some of the worst advice I ever got selling real estate was one of the first teams I started on when I was really young. She sat me down. She's like, no one gives a shit about you. No one cares about you. Just sell the house. And first of all, that is absolutely not true. Like, the lady that told me that is crazy. That's not true at all. But I did start to have that belief. I started to believe that no one cared about me, that I'm not shit. And again, like I'm just a slave to the system. I'm just like, no one cares about me. And when you're told that in such a dog eat dog world and business, it's not, first of all, it's a lie, but it's just, how do you say that to someone? And the fact that she told me that just shows me that's what she believes about herself, and that's really sad. But the way that you get people to care about you and to see you is you seeing yourself and you caring about yourself. And that is truly the first thing you have to realize in this realm. If you don't love yourself and you don't value yourself, you are going to constantly be at war with yourself. It's like your analytical mind and your soul are always like hitting each other because you're living your life thinking that you're not anything, no one cares about you, and just shut up and color. That is such a dangerous place to live. And I've said this before, but the world that we live in is a mirror. So you get on the external what you are in the inside. And so I do believe that through my 20s, that's how I felt, was that no one cared about me and no one gives a shit about me. And so who even cares? Why even try? Because the world is like this mean, horrible, cold, dark place. And yes, absolutely, like it is, but it doesn't have to be. You don't have to choose that path. You don't have to choose to surround yourself with those types of people. And you certainly as hell do not have to choose you to believe that and to instill that into your mind and then live your life based off of that. So if you do not believe in astrology, to kind of go back to that, or you really are on your soul's journey and you're trying to figure out like more about you, look into your sign. What's your rising sign? That's like your rising sign is how the world perceives you. So mine's Capricorn. So I'm like a Taurus and my rising sun is Capricorn. So I'm a very bold person that is just pushing the envelope, that is just constantly going out in the world, and that is who I am. That's how the world perceives me. So it's funny that I started this podcast not even knowing any of this about me, and it is actually like who I am. That's part of who I am. And I was even raised like, no, astrology is bad, even though like even in the Bible they were led by the stars and like all these things. Like everything that you're told might actually be the opposite of what you should be doing. So just remember that. Like if you're really trying to find out who you are, you need to do everything the opposite of what you're told to truly find out who you are, because everything in this realm is meant to suppress us and to hide us and to keep us down and to hide the truth from us. So if you want to know who you are, look into your sign. Then if you look at your moon sign, that's your emotions. That's how you handle life. Like that's literally your emotions, and you need to know your emotions, because the thing is the more that you know about yourself, the more that you will fall in love with yourself and the more power you will realize that you actually have. So don't listen to anyone else. Your soul journey is you. And that's something that I've really had to just embrace, is that no one knows me better than me. No one knows all the work I've put in. No one knows all the pain I've gone through. No one knows the suffering. No one knows the highs. No one knows the lows. Only me. So for me to look outside of myself and ask people or listen to people and their opinions about me is wrong. Because for me to know me, I have to know me. I have to go within, inward. It's an inward journey. This is an inward world. You don't get anything to change in your external world until you change your internal world. So the more that you just learn and know about yourself, the better. The better you're going to be. The more powerful you're going to move through the world, because you're going to have more insight on who you are and how the world sees you. Like maybe you're a teacher, that really... Or maybe you love working with animals and that's where you thrive and that's what excites you. Like only you know you. And I really want to stress that, because I've lived my life for so long thinking that I had to be the good girl and do the things that everyone told me to do their way, even though all the people telling me the things that I needed to do, I didn't even want the life that they have to live. I wanted more. I wanted better. I want to break free. I want to travel and explore and build businesses and help people and all of these things. And I can't do that and truly be who I'm meant to be if I don't actually trust myself. So if you don't actually trust yourself and you don't actually believe in you, then you're going to be trapped in the identity of society and how you've been raised forever. And also, the universe favors the bold. The universe favors the people that take the leap, that jump, that believe in themselves. It's like you proving to the universe, okay, I'm ready. I want this. Like, I'm going to do it. You know, when I moved to Florida and I left everything, my entire life, my entire business that I fucking worked so hard for, I left everything because I knew this was what I had to do. I knew that I had no other choice because my life came crumbling down and I had nothing and I had no one, and my ex was not going to stop coming after me. So I left, and the universe protected me. God took care of me. I continued to sell real estate. And then I continued to make a name for myself here. Like, because I jumped. I could have stayed in Colorado. I could have said, no, I can't leave. I'm stuck here. I could have been bound by my shackles, but I didn't. I was like, no, like, this is the path. This is what I need to do. So I forgot to mention this at the beginning, but there's kind of 3 steps to this episode. The first one is breaking free from the good girl and being you, like trusting yourself. Stop putting your trust in other people. Stop worrying about other people. I know it is so hard, but like, if you're going to get what you want in this life and really live your soul purpose, you have to be willing to break free of that. And to be like, no, I'm going to go the unconventional way. Because let me tell you, the unconventional way is how you do it. Red pill, blue pill, baby. Blue pill is being stuck, trapped, all the people. Red pill is like, no, I'm going to choose to follow myself, my soul purpose, my soul calling. And it's a choice that only you can make. No one can make it for you. No one's forcing you. No one's telling you you have to do this. But your soul, you're going to continue to have dis-ease in your body until you break free of the good girl. The second one is the self-love comes from within. You have to cultivate self-love. That's why I was saying, if you don't know who you are and you're really trying to figure it out, really start to do some astrology work. Start to look into who you are. And I guarantee you, as you start to read some shit about you, you're going to be like, this is true. And it is true. That's why we've been told our whole lives not to look into it, because the more we know ourselves, the more we break free. And then the number 3 thing that I want to talk about is the death and rebirth cycle. And again, I'm here right now in my life in this absolute moment going through this again. Like, I feel like I've gone through a death and rebirth like 4 times since I lived in Florida, but it's because I had so much programming and so much shedding and so many limiting beliefs that I had to break free from. And so I've been having this death and rebirth cycle, but also you have to realize too, like, it's normal to have the death and rebirth cycle. It's how we evolve. We're like a snake shedding our skin. Snakes don't only shed their skin once in a lifetime. They keep shedding as they keep growing. So you're going to continue having this. But the cool thing about it is, the more that it happens, the more trust you build with yourself, the more aligned you become with your higher self, your God source, the source energy within you. And you realize, like, okay, this is next. I need to let go to get to the next level. You don't get to the next level by not shedding your skin. You do not get up leveled until you let go and take a step. When you're on the death and rebirth cycle too, there's a lot of things that can happen. You can lose friends, you lose your job, especially if you're manifesting. Like, this is all just part of the process. Like, this is literally part of it. And like, how many millionaires and billionaires can you listen to that will tell you, I lost everything and I kept going. I kept building. I never gave up. I kept seeking. I kept searching. So the whole game that we're playing, the game of life, is just not giving up, continuing to press forward. Everything's okay. The only thing that's not okay is if you don't wake up. That's the worst thing that can happen to you, is that you don't wake up. As you're going down your death and rebirth cycle as well, something that is going to be imperative to your journey is to learn how to regulate your nervous system. So EFT tapping, journaling, meditation, breath work, drinking lots of water, not self-sabotaging by drinking and doing all these drugs and all this stuff. Like, all of those things, if you really focus, your death and rebirth cycle is going to be easier and easier. And remember that we have 4 seasons every single year. So the fact that we've been programmed to not change and to fear change so much just shows you how important change is and how much change is necessary. Because when you realize that nature is our guide, nature is the thing that is teaching us, the butterfly, you're the caterpillar, the goo, and then you transform, the trees that die and come back to life, the animals that are nocturnal, the ones that, they sleep during the day and they're awake at night, and then the ones that are the opposite. Like, everything is teaching us how to move and navigate through this realm. And they have no resistance. Nature doesn't resist. We as human beings are the ones that resist because we have fear, and it is okay. But remember to look at nature. Just everything's going to be okay if you don't give up and you continue to push forward. And people are going to call you crazy. People are going to come at you and tell you, you're not being realistic. You're this, you're that. You should do this, you should do that. But just look at their lives and see if their life is the one you want to live. And if they're not living a life that you don't want to live, don't listen to them. Find people that have the life you want and listen to them. How did they get there? And I'm telling you, 99% of them have gone through this spiritual process. This is a spiritual process. This is not a religious thing. This is not it's just spiritual. When you start to learn that you really want to be happy and you really want to know who you are, know thyself, as soon as you learn it's spiritual and that nature can teach you, you're going to be able to breathe. And yes, you're going to have to deal with certain things to get your life back on track, but it's okay. Like, it is okay. Everything's okay. As long as you don't give up, you're going to get where you want to go. But be patient along your journey. Have faith. Trust in yourself. Don't give your power away. Maybe stop dating for a little bit. Really dig deep and know yourself. Everything, this is key for, everything that you're searching for is in you. And you've probably heard this, but this is so true. I was always searching externally. I was always thinking that I needed to find a man to save me, to take care of me, and all of that. And that time will come, but that's not the journey I chose, my soul chose. I chose to come to earth to find my own value, to find my own self-worth and my own self-love. And that is a hard journey. Most people do not love themselves. And that is a hard fact. And that is what I hope to change, because you should love yourself. You're worth it. You are enough. You came here to experience this beautiful life and to love yourself, not hate yourself, not beat up on yourself, to know yourself and love yourself. And when you connect deeply to who you are, you learn that you have masculine energy, feminine energy, and you can learn to integrate both of them to achieve your dreams. The masculine is the work, the structure, the get things done. The feminine is receiving. I did the thing, now I'm going to receive. I put in the work, now I'm going to receive the money. I'm going to receive the abundance. I'm going to receive the clients. So you learn how to navigate these. And my whole life, I've been all in my masculine energy. Now I'm learning about feminine energy. I'm learning how to be soft and, really intuitive and feel in my body. How am I feeling? And I even shared, a couple months ago on the ending toxic dating cycles, how that one guy, when I went to dinner with him, my stomach twisted and turned and I was in knots and I ignored it and I kept talking to him. And then, he ended up getting back with his girlfriend or his whatever. And it's just crazy. Like, you will learn the more you go down this journey that you can be a master. The more that you know yourself, the more that you know who you are, the stronger the connection you have with you. That's why learning how to balance your masculine and feminine energy, learning how you are perceived in the world, your personality traits, the things you like, the things you don't like, all of these things will come into play. So I really encourage you to dig deep. Everything that you're looking for in this world is in you. You are stardust. You are source energy. The divine spark is within you. It's always within you. It's not outside of you. Anyone that tells you it's outside of you doesn't know what they're talking about. It's not. It's within you. But you have to make the conscious decision to awaken it, to trust it, to believe it. And it is uncomfortable because it's the opposite of what we've been taught. It's literally the opposite. We have been taught to have only one right answer, that if we don't get the right answers in school, that we're not smart enough, we're not good enough, we're dumb, all of this. It's not true. You are hopefully going to go on your awakening journey and learn who you are and why you came here, and that you do have a specific purpose and plan on this earth, and that no one can stop you but you. No one has any control over your life but you. You are the operant power of your life. Whoever is on the pedestal that you've put up there, take them off. You need to be up there. You are the one that runs this reality. You hold all the power. Anyone that tells you that's not true does not know what they're talking about. Your purpose and plan on this earth is to find yourself, love yourself, and to know how important you truly are, and that you can manifest your dreams. Everything is within your mind. You have to reprogram your mind. That way you can call in the things that you want to call in. If you feel like you've been shackled, playing small, or you're not living in your full power, I encourage you to embrace your transformation. I encourage you to stop the external search and just really start to look within and ask God, source, your higher power, show me the path. And also, if you dream, you need to start remembering your dreams and you need to start decoding them, because your dreams are given to you as symbols and signs so that you can start to work things out of your subconscious, and you can start to see what's going on. Where are my limiting beliefs? And we can start to release those. We can start to let those things go. We can start to really forgive people that have hurt us. We can start to forgive ourselves. That's another huge thing. Forgive yourself. You are so loved. You are so important in this world. There's no one more important than you. And you cannot give anyone anything if you do not give it to yourself. That goes for your children, your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever, your family. If you do not have self-love and value, and you do not love yourself on the deepest level, you cannot love other people. That is why we are having so many divorces. That is why we are seeing so many broken families, because we do not love ourselves. And we have to change that. We are the ones in control, not anyone, not the government, not your parents, not your siblings, not your friend, your husband, your children. No one, it's you. You are the only one in control of your life. And if you do not make the decision to change your life cannot change. So I hope that this resonated with you guys. I know I said a lot. It's interesting. Like when I start on my flowing, everything just kind of comes to me. So I have my notes that I look at to make sure, I'm on track, but I really hope this resonated. I can't explain to you guys how much that solo trip really did help me, and it gave me so much clarity on what I want and where I want to go and how I want to get there. And just that everything that I'm going through is normal. It's this shedding of my skin. I'm just being squeezed so I can really step into the new version of me. I can step into that full body version of who I'm meant to be in this world. And as hard as it is, as difficult as it is, as scary as it is, as much transformation as I'm going through right now, it just is the path. It is the plan. It is the purpose. And I'm excited to share with you guys as things transcend and evolve. So please make sure you guys are following me on social medias. I have those linked in the show notes. And please comment, let me know what made sense, what you guys liked, what you're working through, and whatever you guys would like me to talk about, I will do that. I know someone wants me to talk about vampire energy, so that is on my list. I just really wanted to talk about my trip to Colorado and all of that. So yeah, I love you guys very much. Please send this to someone, bring you guys as much valuable information as I can. So thank you so much for listening. I love you guys very much. And as always, 5, 6, 7, 8, let's go.
I think I'm better off a memory, so won't you please remember me? I think I'm better off a memory, so won't you please remember me? I think I'm better off a memory, so won't you please remember me? I think I'm better off a memory. Yeah. Seeking peace in the dark, a light at a spark, a plane in my hand, I think I'm loving the part where the land and the sea meet, so I agree. Open waters with wide arms, I'm sweating like bare palms in wake of the sun. I glance at the gun, it's loaded, I'm knowing to catch escape from this feeling, but I can't seem to shake this feeling. I know these clouds cry at me while they find it appealing that I no longer remain sane.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite, outside the boundaries of their phony world of...
She run the game, I can't seem to catch up. I'm falling, I think, I'm probably slipping the front. But speaking the front, can you front me some love? Cause it's colder on my shoulder like some ice. I run back and forth, from a baggie to you. I'm throating, I think, it's time to recoup. I'm gaining some ground, I'm slipping this loss. She's steady on my mind, I'm paying the cost. Drugs in a slick tongue, never worked that well. Cause she just wants some lick, I got some Molly to lick, well. She walking down steps now, she slamming the door. I think there's something to snort, how? We get right here, loaded and blowing a bunch of ducats on nothing, and now I'm wasted away. To use little bags, I could drag another square, but I'm feeling the past. Been like way too heavy and I can't find my grip.
The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite, outside the boundaries of their phony world of...
the beat